We've all had those nights where afterwards you lay there thinking, that was fine, but it's not exactly going in the Hall of Fame. And then there are those other nights, the ones that leave your head spinning, your body tingling, and your man looking at you like you just rewrote his entire life story. Here's the thing most women don't realize: it's not always about how long it lasted or whether you pulled off some wild acrobatics that belong in a Cirque du Soleil audition. Nope. What separates the forgettable from the unforgettable often comes down to something much simpler: positions. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, oh, I've heard this before, let me stop you. Because I'm not here to give you a laundry list of every position under the sun. I'm not going to confuse you with diagrams or names that sound like they belong in a yoga retreat.
No.
I'm going to give you the truth, the two best sex positions that no man, and I mean no man, ever jokes with. The ones that aren't just about pleasure, but about power, intimacy, and leaving him absolutely addicted to you. Think about it. Men will joke about a lot of things. Their buddy's beer belly, a joke. Their boss, a joke. Even their own hairline when it starts running away from them, definitely a joke. But these two positions, they don't joke about them because they feel something different in those moments, something primal, something vulnerable, something unforgettable. And here's why this matters. Sex isn't just about bodies moving. It's about psychology. It's about what's going through his mind when you're in that moment together. The right position doesn't just make him feel good. It makes him feel connected, obsessed, hooked on you. So if you've ever wanted to be that woman he can't stop replaying in his mind, the one who leaves him distracted at work, texting you in the middle of the day, thinking, God, I need her again, then listen carefully. Because these two positions are your secret weapon. And by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to turn an ordinary night into one he will never ever forget. Before we dive into the actual positions, I need you to understand why these two in particular carry so much weight. Because let's be honest, there are dozens of positions out there. Some look great on paper or in a movie scene, but when you actually try them, awkward, uncomfortable, or just plain forgettable. These two, however, are different. They've earned their reputation because of the way they strike a balance between what men want to feel and what women want to give. And once you understand the psychology behind them, you'll see why they leave such a powerful impression. So let's start with this. Men have two seemingly opposite desires in the bedroom. On one hand, they crave control. It makes them feel powerful, primal masculine. On the other hand, they secretly crave moments of surrender where they get to let go, where the woman takes over and they're left completely at her mercy. Now here's the genius of the two positions we're talking about together. They give him both. One lets him feel like the king. The other makes him feel like he's worshiping you. It's this duality that blows his mind because you're not just giving him pleasure, you're giving him the entire spectrum of experiences he craves but rarely gets. And let's not forget another truth: men are visual creatures. Yes, they respond to touch and sensation, but their eyes, they are constantly devouring what's in front of them. These two positions showcase your body in ways that men find irresistible. It's like handing him front row tickets to the best show he's ever seen. But here's the part most women underestimate. It's not just about how he looks at you. It's about how he feels you looking back at him. These positions create natural opportunities for eye contact, teasing glances, playful smiles, the little moments that make him feel chosen, desired, and completely obsessed. And think about this for a second. The positions themselves may sound simple, but in his mind, they represent something far bigger. They symbolize trust, connection, even status. When you confidently take control in one position, he's thinking, she's bold, she knows what she wants, she's not shy about her body. That confidence, it drives him crazy. Then when you flip into the other position and give him the lead, he thinks, she trusts me, she wants me to take her there, she feels safe with me. And believe me, when a man feels both turned on and trusted at the same time, he will never forget that. So ladies, these positions aren't just physical acts, they are psychological triggers. They unlock emotions in him that make him want you more. They remind him that you're not just another woman. You're the one who can flip his entire world upside down, all from the intimacy of your bedroom. And let me give you one more truth. These two positions are also his brag-free zone. Men will joke with their friends about wild experiments or laugh about awkward attempts. But when it comes to these, silence. Because deep down, he knows these moments are sacred. He doesn't cheapen them with jokes. He just remembers them, craves them, and comes back for more. That's why these positions matter so much, because they don't just satisfy his body, they capture his mind, his memory, and his desire for you. So when I tell you these are the two best positions a woman can ever master, I don't mean they're the only ones worth trying. But I do mean that if you want to leave a mark that no other woman can erase, these are the two you want in your arsenal. Now, let's talk about the first position, the one I like to call the Queen's Seat. Why that name? Because when you're in this position, you're not just part of the game, you are running the game, you're in control, you're leading the rhythm, and he's looking up at you like you're royalty. For a lot of women, the idea of being on top feels intimidating. You might worry, what if I don't look good from this angle? What if I don't move right? What if I don't last long? And let me just stop you right there. Those thoughts are distractions. Because in his mind, when you take the top spot, he's not analyzing your movements. He's overwhelmed by the confidence you're radiating. Here's the truth: men crave moments where they can just surrender. They may not say it out loud, but there's something incredibly arousing about having a woman take charge. And when you climb on top, you're sending a powerful message. I'm not afraid to take what I want. That confidence is intoxicating. But here's where the magic happens. It's not just the physical act of you being on top. It's the extras you layer onto it that make it unforgettable. Eye contact, when you look down at him, steady and unashamed, he feels completely captivated. Your gaze tells him, your mind right now, your pace. Don't rush, tease, play with tempo, speed up, slow down, pause just long enough to drive him mad. That unpredictability keeps him hooked. Your hands, place them on his chest, trail them over his shoulders, or gently pin his wrists down. It adds intensity without words. Your expressions, a smile, a smirk, even closing your eyes in pleasure, it shows him you're enjoying yourself, and that makes him feel like he's giving you the world. And ladies, here's something men will never admit they love: when you whisper in their ear from this position. Lean forward, let your lips brush against his skin, and tell him exactly how good he feels. That simple act of vulnerability mixed with dominance will send shivers down his spine. But let's take this even deeper. This position doesn't just give you control, it gives you power to create connection. Because unlike other positions, when you're on top, you can actually slow down, breathe, and look into his soul. That level of intimacy is rare. And when you combine intimacy with pleasure, you're creating something unforgettable. Now, some women think being on top is all about performance, like you need to put on a show. But let me flip that idea for you. The Queen's Seat isn't about being perfect, it's about being present. If you're in your head worrying about how you look, you're missing the chance to create electricity in the moment. Focus on how you feel, and trust me, he will follow. And here's the kicker: when you take charge like this, men don't just see it as sexy, they see it as bold. It tells him you're comfortable with your body, confident in your desires, and unafraid to express them. That confidence will stick in his mind far longer than any physical movement. This is why men never joke with this position, because it gives them something they rarely get: a front row seat to your confidence. It's not just about pleasure, it's about surrendering to the woman they desire. So remember, when you take the Queen's Seat, you're not just giving him a thrill, you're showing him who you are: bold, playful, irresistible. And that's something he'll crave again and again. If the Queen's Seat is about your power, then this next one is about his intensity. I call it the deep connection. This position is usually known as doggy style, but let's strip away the crudeness of the name for a second, because what I'm talking about here is so much more than a physical angle. This is about unleashing a side of him that he doesn't always show and giving him an experience he won't ever forget. Here's why men never joke about this position. It taps into something primal. It makes him feel strong, masculine, in control. It's raw, it's powerful, and it satisfies that deep craving he has to lead. But at the very same time, it gives him the most irresistible view of you. And remember, men are wired visually. What he sees here is burned into his memory like a favorite photograph he'll never delete. But don't get it twisted. This position isn't just about giving him power. It's also about you knowing how to flip the switch and make it even more electric. Because even when he thinks he's in control, you still hold the keys to his pleasure. Let me break it down for you. Your body language sets the tone. When you arch your back, tilt your hips, or glance back at him, you're giving silent messages that drive him wild. That one look over your shoulder, it's not just sexy, it's a reminder that you're still in charge of how deep, how fast, how intense this connection goes. Your sounds are his fuel. Men respond to feedback. The more you express what you're feeling through your breath, your moans, your words, the more he feels like he's giving you everything you want. And when a man feels that his confidence skyrockets, your rhythm guides his, don't be afraid to push back, to move with him, to create your own tempo. When you match his energy or tease by slowing it down, you're building anticipation that makes him lose control. Now here's the real secret. This position gives you the perfect chance to mix intensity with tenderness, and that combination is dynamite. Imagine this, you're in the heat of the moment. It's passionate, it's raw, but then you reach back, grab his hand, and intertwine your fingers. Suddenly, he's not just taking you, he's connected to you. The small act flips the script from pure passion to pure intimacy. And ladies, let's talk about confidence for a second. Many women feel self-conscious here because it feels exposed. But let me tell you this, he's not scanning for flaws. He's mesmerized. In his mind, this position gives him a view of the woman he desires most in her rawest, most vulnerable state. And that vulnerability, that's what makes it unforgettable. Another secret weapon, your words. Whisper something playful or daring over your shoulder. Tease him with, "You like this, don't you?" Or, "You're mine right now." It's not about being vulgar. It's about creating a loop in his head that he won't stop replaying. Why does this position matter so much? Because it makes him feel alive. It gives him passion, closeness, intensity, and a visual memory he'll never shake off. It tells him you're not afraid to give him what he craves while still keeping control in your own subtle, powerful way. That's why men don't joke about the deep connection. Because for them, it's more than sex. It's an experience that fuses lust and intimacy. It's the kind of moment he'll carry with him, the kind that makes him compare every encounter after you to what he felt with you. So, when you give him the deep connection, remember it's not just about letting him lead. It's about knowing that with one glance, one touch, one playful smile, you still hold the ultimate power. When it comes to the mystery of attraction, timing and pacing are everything. Many men make the mistake of rushing in, believing that desire is about intensity in the moment, but true intimacy has its roots in anticipation. Think about a movie trailer. It doesn't show the entire story, just enough to leave you curious and hungry for more. The same principle applies in a woman's experience of physical connection. When you allow desire to build slowly, when you create pauses instead of constantly moving forward, you let her imagination do the work. And once her imagination is involved, she is no longer just experiencing what you're doing in the moment. She's anticipating what's coming next, which heightens the whole experience. Imagine you're having a conversation that's deeply engaging. You're hanging on every word, but then just as it's getting good, there's a pause. That silence doesn't feel empty, it feels charged. It makes you lean in, waiting for what's about to be said. This is exactly what happens in the physical realm when you learn to play with timing. You give her a taste of what she craves, then you pull back slightly. You let her catch her breath, and in that pause, her body begins to crave more. Most men miss this because they think pleasure is about constant action. But the truth is, it's the rhythm of engagement and retreat that ignites her deeper longing. By practicing this, you show her that you're not desperate to get to the end, that you enjoy the journey as much as she does. That shift alone makes her feel safe, desired, and understood. She recognizes that you're not just focused on yourself, you're tuned into her experience. And that attentiveness is incredibly seductive. It transforms the moment from something ordinary into something unforgettable, because she feels seen in a way that goes beyond the physical. Think of it as a dance. In a great dance, the magic lies not just in the steps, but in the pauses, the spins, the moments where two bodies drift apart only to come back together. That ebb and flow creates electricity. It's not the closeness alone that excites her. It's the combination of closeness and distance, action and stillness, certainty and mystery. When you bring this mindset into your intimacy, she begins to feel like every moment with you is charged with possibility rather than predictable. This art of slowing down isn't just about drawing out her pleasure. It's also about showing her that you have control, not the kind of control that dominates, but the kind that guides. You're leading the experience with confidence, creating space for her to feel everything more deeply. Women often talk about wanting to feel cherished. And this is one of the most powerful ways to do it. You're not rushing her through the process. You're inviting her to savor it with you. And the more she savors, the more emotionally connected she feels. Over time, this approach changes the way she views you. You're no longer just a man who's physically satisfying. You become the man who makes her feel alive in her own skin, who reminds her of her own sensuality. That kind of impact doesn't fade quickly. It lingers and it makes her want more, not because you're doing something outrageous or theatrical, but because you've tapped into something most men never understand. By embracing timing, by creating anticipation, you give her the gift of a deeper experience, one that feels endlessly exciting no matter how long you've been together. Confidence is one of the most irresistible qualities a man can bring into any interaction, especially when it comes to intimacy. But here's the truth most men don't realize. Confidence is not about walking into a room with your chest puffed out or speaking louder than everyone else. It's not about acting dominant or trying to prove your masculinity through force. Real confidence is quiet. It's subtle. It's that calm energy that says, I know who I am, I know what I bring, and I don't need to shout about it. And women pick up on that energy instantly. When you embody confidence, she feels safe with you. She can let her guard down because she senses you're not insecure, you're not second guessing yourself, and you're not waiting for her validation. That calm certainty is incredibly attractive because it allows her to relax into her feminine side. Instead of her having to carry the energy, she can surrender into the moment knowing you've got it under control. This is why confidence is magnetic. It creates a polarity, a pull, a balance between you and her that feels natural and deeply exciting. Think about it this way. Imagine two people on a boat in choppy waters. One person is panicking, flailing their arms, trying to hold on, and the other is steady, grounded, guiding the situation. Who are you drawn to trust? Of course, the steady one. The one who doesn't lose composure no matter how wild things get. That's exactly what confidence feels like in intimacy. She feels like she can lean into you because you're not rattled, you're not unsure. You're fully present, fully engaged, and fully in control of yourself. But here's something important. Confidence doesn't mean perfection. It doesn't mean you'll always know exactly what to say or do. It means you're comfortable enough to own the moment, even when things aren't flawless. If something awkward happens, you don't crumble or apologize nervously. You smile, you laugh, you keep the energy flowing. That ability to embrace imperfection is often more attractive than trying to perform everything perfectly. Because what women really want is not a flawless performance. It's a man who feels grounded in himself no matter what. Confidence also shows up in the way you communicate. When you say something, you don't mumble it like you're unsure. And you don't bark it like you're trying too hard. You speak clearly, calmly, with intention. You listen when she talks, because confident men don't need to dominate the conversation. They know the value of silence, the power of eye contact, the intensity that comes from being fully present. That kind of attention makes a woman melt because she feels you're not distracted, you're not somewhere else. You're right there with her. In the physical sense, confidence is expressed in pacing, in touch, in eye contact. A confident man doesn't rush. He's not desperate to prove himself. He takes his time, enjoying every second, because he knows the journey is as powerful as the destination. He doesn't seek constant reassurance that she's enjoying herself. He can read her body, her breathing, her subtle reactions. That attentiveness combined with his calm assurance creates an experience that feels far more powerful than anything physical alone. And the truth is, confidence is deeply tied to authenticity. When you stop pretending to be someone you're not, when you drop the mask of trying to impress and simply show up as yourself, she feels it. She can tell when a man is real versus when he's performing. Authenticity is rare, and when it's combined with self-assuredness, it becomes irresistible. She's not just drawn to your body, she's drawn to your energy, your presence, your essence. That's why confidence is so much more than a trait. It's a state of being. What makes this so powerful is how it lingers beyond the moment. A woman doesn't just remember how confident you looked or sounded. She remembers how you made her feel. Did she feel safe? Did she feel desired? Did she feel like she could completely surrender and lose herself in the experience? That's the mark of true confidence. It's not about you, it's about the space you create for her to fully feel. And when you master that, she won't just be attracted to you in the moment, she'll crave you long after. So here's the truth, it's never just about the position. It's never just about the moves. What makes those two positions truly unforgettable is the energy you bring into them, the presence, the attention, the confidence, and the willingness to connect on a level deeper than just the physical. That's what turns something ordinary into something she remembers forever. Now, let me leave you with this. Every woman watching this has the power to guide her partner into these experiences. You don't have to sit back and hope he figures it out. You can lead. You can whisper in his ear. You can create the atmosphere that makes these moments possible. Because when you step into your feminine power and invite him into these dynamics, you're not just giving him pleasure, you're teaching him how to please you. And trust me, a man who learns to love you the way you want to be loved will never joke about it. He'll protect that connection like it's sacred because he knows he's tasted something he can't find anywhere else. If you love this conversation, don't just click away, stick with me. Subscribe, because every week we're diving into the kind of raw, real sexy truths no one else dares to talk about. And before you go, tell me in the comments, which of these two positions are you secretly craving to try next? Until next time, stay irresistible.